Hello, welcome to the very first episode of the SolutionsTag Energy Talk Online, where energy stakeholders come together to discuss valuable ideas which all aim to create a better tomorrow in the energy sector. Today, in a very special way, we have Miss Mercy Masanga from Grant Thornton, who is an associate of Energy and Natural Resources. Mercy, it's good to have you today.
Thank you very much. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to SolutionsTag for preparing this platform. I'm very honored to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, it's really good to have you in our very first episode of Energy Talk Online. As one of the stakeholders in the energy industry, I hope you're going to share some valuable ideas, especially on the ESG framework concept, so that even others who do not know what ESG is can be very good at it, I think, from today.
Thank you very much for that.
So today we're going to discuss on a topic, ESG in energy sector, its role in creating a better tomorrow in the energy sector. So Mercy, as we start, what exactly is ESG, and has its introduction phased out any framework?
Okay, so before we move forward to ESG, what is it doing? Why did we introduce it? I want to talk a little bit about ESG itself. So ESG stands for Environment, Social Governance. These are three pillars that has been integrated in order to increase the sustainability and performance in the organization or business that we have in the energy sector and other sector, but today we'll just be focusing on the energy sector. So when we're talking about the pillar of environment, we are focusing on how the business, when they are preparing their services or offering their products to the society or to the environment, we are trying to focus on how are they going to mitigate their impact to the environment. If you're creating a product A, then you have to tell us how does the product A affecting the environment and how are you planning to mitigate that effect to the environment in order to avoid the issues of climate change and so forth. Also, moving to the part of social pillar. On the social pillar, we are assessing both internally for the organization and externally. How does the organization offer services to the society? How are they relating to the society? So management of relationship, inclusion of gender. So we are looking out for different factors that are socially, starting from your point of view in the organization and then to the society. And on the third part, which is governance, which is very new, because before we just used to have environment, we are talking about HSC, and for the social, we are talking about the corporate social responsibility. But who is going to manage all of this? Who is going to implement? What are the policies in place that are going to take care of this? Then they say, no, let's now come with a new concept of governance. So in total, we have environment, social, governance.
So Mercy, you have spoken that there are three pillars, which is we see on the environmental component, we see on the social component, and also the governance component. And you say that back then, before the introduction of the ESG, we just used to speak on the HSC component without even including the governance, like who is going to oversee all those components. So do you want to say, has ESG in a way phased out HSC?
No. What ESG has done, it has integrated and increased the efficiency of implementation of HSC. So before we were just talking about health, safety, and the environment. So we were just having regulation and policies on health, and regulation on safety, and regulation on the environment. But right now, we are connecting all of it, preparing a framework that could connect and add more to it. So we are not just only like, you should have a fire extinguisher to your place. No, we want a framework. You have to tell us, okay, you have a framework for health and safety and the environment. Does your people know how to protect themselves? how are you training your people? What is your plan for that? So ESG has come to complement, not to phase out.
Yeah.
So it has integrated and increased the efficiency in it.
Yeah, that is really good to know from Mercy that ESG has just come to incorporate HSE and CSR, I suppose. Because on the component of social, if you look on the internal welfare of your staff, of your team, and also considering the social welfare of those outside your team, we're speaking of the corporate social responsibility. So in a way, ESG is incorporating these two, HSE and CSI. That is very good. Another question, in Tanzania,
Yes.
how has ESG concept clicked in the minds of stakeholders in the energy sector? You're in the energy sector.
Exactly. So before I respond to that question, I would like to give a few examples to that. So now in Tanzania and is in other countries at large, that every country they're trying to adapt to the concept of ESG. And I'll tell you one thing, both investors in the private sector and in the public sector, now they're not just looking out for business ideas or for people who are pitching for proposals in order to get money and implement the business. Okay, you are coming with your idea, then you're like, is it feasible? Like the financial analysis and doing like, okay, the return on investment, only that before it was just like that. We just know, okay, I'm putting my money. When am I going to start getting return on investment? So we're just looking on the feasibility studies of the project. But right now, investors want to know how sustainable your idea is.
Oh, okay.
So like, how are you going to tell me that your idea is sustainable? You have to prepare the ESG framework.
Okay.
Then you tell me your plan. Okay, in this, we are aware of the funds that are coming in our country right now, like the GCF, the Green Climate Fund. That fund is specifically structured in such a way, when you're preparing your proposal, you have to tell them, how are you going to implement the ESG framework
To ensure sustainability.
They would ask, in your board, you have 9 members. How many women are in the board? And if you see like all 9 are male or all 9 members are female, then you're not qualified. You have to show the inclusion of it. Also, they will ask, you are going to implement the energy project. You are moving maybe from the use of oil and gas in using cars. You don't want to use diesel. You want to use electricity. Then tell us, how are you going to mitigate the effect of transitioning from the diesel to the use of electricity? How is it going to affect and how the environment is going to change?
Okay.
And then they would ask, what are the policies that are you going to implement in order for us to support you? You have to tell us. So all the questions that they are asking, it's based on the ESG.
Yeah. So what I've gotten from you is that people have to understand the ESG framework and have to implement it, because that is what is driving sustainability. Not only sustainability in businesses, but also sustainability in the welfare of the social people that we're serving. So that being said, let's go back to the core question.
Yes.
How has it clicked in the minds of people in the energy sector in Tanzania?
So in the energy sector, we are now hearing like transitioning to clean energy. When we are thinking about clean energy, when we are talking about the rapid and huge investment that are happening in the country, it's all trying to create the sustainable investment in the energy sector. So we might be using the different terminologies in implementing the whole issue of sustainability, but we have the same goal. When we are trying to say like we are reducing the taxes or levies for the use of green energy, we are trying to motivate or encourage people to transition to investment in renewable energy. So we want people to use energy sources which are sustainable.
Okay.
And we're encouraging investors to come to invest in Tanzania because we have the sustainable environment. We want, okay, you are coming, okay, tell us about your environmental impact assessment.
Okay. EIA.
Yes, we did hear about the environmental impact assessment. We are meditating on how are you going to mitigate the effect of your service to the environment. So in Tanzania, what I would say is we all have the basic knowledge about ESG, but in different areas.
Okay.
So people need to know more about ESG, and not only to know, but also to practice. So I would advise, or I would encourage organizations to move forward, not just to say ESG is good, ESG is fine, but take a step forward.
Okay.
We want to see in structures of the organization inclusion.
Okay.
We want to see both genders participate in that. We want to see how the organization give back to the society. How are they including the society that are around them? How are they treating the employees? We want to see that. I will give you one example from Grand Thornton.
Okay.
You came here when you asked for water, they didn't bring you plastic. They gave you water in glass. Because if we give you water in a plastic, once you're done with it, we're going to throw it away. Then we are going to increase waste. But because we are trying to tell the fact that we have to be sustainable in our business. You drink water, then you wash the grass, then it is sustainable. You reuse
You reuse it, yeah.
See, so I would encourage for stakeholders in the energy sector, those who are with the knowledge about ESG to go forward, build capacity for the organization that wish to adapt the ESG framework, create awareness, like preparing this energy talk. This is very nice. It's going to go up to the society and people, okay, this is ESG. Okay, this is how we are going to use it in our organization. Also write articles about ESG. Grant Thornton has already published one of the articles, The Citizen.
Yes, sure, I saw that.
Well, yes, telling people how are we going to adapt the ESG framework in our community. So Tanzania is in the right direction.
In the right direction?
Yes, it's in the right direction.
But it has to move more and more further.
There's a need to add more effort.
Okay. Yeah. That's really good. I think you have unpacked that quite well and quite outstandingly. I hope it's now going to click in the minds of people, and organizations are going to adapt the ESG framework in their day-to-day business undertakings. I hope that. And at SolutionsTag, we have this vision of creating a better tomorrow in the energy sector. So whatever that we are doing in the energy sector, we also do environmental impact assessment. You spoke of that EIA. Whatever that we do, it is to create a better tomorrow in the energy sector. So what exactly, in your opinion, do you see is the role of ESG in creating a better tomorrow specifically to the energy sector?
Okay, so first, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate SolutionsTag that their vision is to create a better tomorrow. They haven't just put their vision in theory, they are doing it in practice. So they are going to the community, they are preparing different platforms, trying to create awareness, do it in practice and showing people like this is how it is done, building capacity to other organizations about sustainability. You guys are experts in HEC.
Yeah, sure.
So they are doing what is supposed to be done. So what I can say, when we want to increase efficiency in this aspect in the energy sector, I would say SolutionsTag has set an example. So, but what is supposed to be done for everyone to be able to adapt this? I would advise for the issue of ESG to become mandatory.
Okay, to become mandatory?
Yes, as we are doing, like, you cannot submit your report without the environmental impact assessment. Then you're supposed to say you cannot submit your proposal without having the environmental environmental social governance framework. So if we put it as a mandatory, then people are going to start moving forward and start to understand and practice it.
Okay.
And not only that, I would also advise for people who are responsible for making policies to make these policies and create awareness, have agendas to the community, creating awareness about these policies. As we used to say, like for some, for the other aspect, tunza mazingira ya kutunza. In translation of it is like when taking care of the environment, it will also
to you. Yeah.
So even in the energy sector, if we want a fruitful sector, then we are supposed to introduce policies and implement them and go forward to the community and make it people adapt to it. Like when you are implementing ESG, you are creating a sustainable future of energy.
Yeah, sure.
So if we be moving forward like that, then we are going to create better landscape in the
That's outstanding. So, Grant Thornton, I suppose because I also saw the article they are published on ESG on the Citizen newspaper. That was very good, to bring awareness to the businesses in Tanzania to adopt the ESG framework. So, as one of the firms in Tanzania, which is taking seriously the ESG framework, what call do you have to other organizations which haven't yet adopted the ESG framework? What's your call?
My call to other organizations, I would say this. Before, the competition was in the financial statements. Which business is making more money than the other? But what I see in the very few days to come, the competition is going to be which business is more
Sustainable, yeah.
So I would tell my fellow members or stakeholders in the energy sector, do you want to be late?
Definitely no.
Definitely no.
Definitely no.
So if you don't want to be late, then you have to join. The time is now to start learning, to start building capacity for your people, to create awareness, to prepare frameworks for this ESG. And if you're going to do it now, in 5 years to come, people will be asking, who is competent in preparing ESG framework? Your organization will be mentioned. But if you are waiting, trying to think, maybe tomorrow, in 5 years to come, you'll be moving around. But which business are you going to attach yourself to? So the time is
now,
and the clock is ticking.
Okay. That's very good. Yeah, we're just winding up, Mercy. We've spoken much on ESG, on its importance to create a better tomorrow in the energy sector. So, lastly, maybe in a sentence or two, how do you see the future being shaped? The future of the energy sector being shaped if all businesses adopted the ESG now?
Okay, I would use some very few words. I would say the future of energy sector is clean, is sustainable, and is exciting. Do you want to join the journey?
Definitely you have to join now. So the future of the energy industry is going to be clean, it's going to be sustainable
and
exciting. It has been very, very, very good discussion with Mercy Masanga, and I hope you have learned a lot about ESG framework and how it is important to create a better tomorrow in the energy sector. This is just the very first episode where we energy stakeholders meet to discuss valuable ideas which all aim to create a better tomorrow. I hope next episodes are going to have a lot of more ideas, and please do not hesitate to be coming back here at SolutionsTag YouTube channel and other social media of SolutionsTag to hear what energy stakeholders have for you.